Good day, everyone. I am Jean Isabel Tan, and my report is about Republic Act number 9510, an act establishing the Credit Information System and for other purposes. This was signed on October 31, 2008 by President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo. Its short title is Credit Information System Act. Before the RA 9510, Presidential Decree Number 1941 was authored to establish the first and only local credit bureau in the Philippines, which is the Credit Information Bureau, Inc. It started as a government entity under the Central Bank Department of Loans and Credit. It was founded in 1982 and then later on incorporated and transformed into a private entity in 1997. Stated in Section 16 of RA 9510, the PD number 1941 was entirely repealed. Currently, the CIBI is one of the accredited credit bureaus in the Philippines. In the United States, they have a federal law titled the Fair Credit Reporting Act, or FCRA. This law regulates the collection, dissemination, and use of consumer information, including consumer credit information. It forms the base of consumer credit rights in the United States, along with the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. It was originally passed in 1970 and is enforced by the U.S. Federal Trade Commission, or FTC. The FRCA regulates consumer reporting agencies, or CRA. These are entities which prepare consumer report and maintain the reported information. Information furnishers. These are organizations that provide information to CRAs about their experiences with the consumers. Users of consumer reports. They are those who request and use the consumer reports. The summary of rights under the FCRA are: right to be told if information in consumer's file has been used against him. If someone or an entity uses the file to deny credit application, insurance, or employment, must inform the consumer, and the entity must give the name, address, and phone number of the agency that provided the information. Right to know what is in the consumer's file. This is basically the right of the consumer to request and obtain all his information from the files of the CRA, after providing the proper proof of identity. The disclosures will be free in cases when a particular entity has used the credit report to take adverse action against the consumer is a victim of identity theft, consumer's files contain inaccurate information due to fraud, consumer is on public assistance, and consumer is unemployed but is expected to apply for employment within 60 days. In addition, all consumers are entitled to one free disclosure every 12 months upon request. Right to ask for a credit score. Consumers may request for a credit score from the CRAs that create or distribute scores used in residential real property loans, but this is paid. Right to dispute incomplete or inaccurate information. CRAs must correct or delete inaccurate, incomplete, or unverifiable information. CRA may not report outdated negative information. Access to consumer's file is limited. A CRA may only provide information to people with a valid need. Right to give consent for reports to be provided to employers. So a written consent from the consumer must be provided before a CRA gives his information to an employer or a potential employer. Right to limit pre-screened offers of credit and insurance a consumer gets based on information in his credit report. Toll-free phone numbers must be included in unsolicited pre-screened offers for credit cards and insurance, so that the consumer could call if he wants his name to be removed from the list the offers was based on. Right to place a security freeze on credit report. which will prohibit a CRA from releasing information in credit report without the consumer's express authorization. This is designed to prevent credit, loans, and other services from being approved without the consumer's consent. The downside, however, is using security freeze may delay the approval of a new loan or other forms of credit application. Right to seek damages from violators and identity theft victims and active duty military personnel have additional rights. The Credit Information System Act created the Credit Information Corporation or CIC. Section 2 of RA 9510 declares the state recognizes the need to establish a comprehensive and centralized credit information system for the collection and dissemination of fair and accurate information relevant to or arising from credit and credit-related activities of all entities participating in the financial system. A credit information system will directly address the need for reliable credit information concerning the credit standing and track record of borrowers. So the CIC is a government-owned and controlled corporation and has the powers and functions to receive and consolidate basic credit data, to act as a central registry of credit information, and to provide access to reliable and standardized information on credit history and financial conditions of borrowers. The objectives of this act are to greatly improve the overall availability of credit, especially to micro, small, and medium-scale enterprises, to provide mechanisms to make credit more cost-effective, to reduce the excessive dependence on collateral to secure credit facilities, to ensure the protection of consumer rights and the existence of fair competition in the industry at all times, to reduce overall credit risk, thereby contributing to a healthier and more stable financial system, and to provide credit information at the least cost to all eligible participants. Accessing entities or organizations authorized by the CIC to access basic credit data from the corporation. As of October 27, 2020, there are 76 accessing entities of the CIC. Meanwhile, submitting entities are organizations that provide credit facilities and required by the law to submit information or data about a borrower, including but not limited to banks, passive banks, trust entities, investment houses, financing companies, cooperatives, credit card companies, insurance companies, and government lending institutions. As of October 22, 2020, the CIC released an updated list composed of 534 submitting entities. Special accessing entities or accredited credit bureaus are accredited private corporations qualified and accepted by the CIC to primarily engage in the business of providing credit reports, ratings, and other similar credit information, products, and services. In the CIC website, they presented three current authorized credit bureaus: the CIBI Information Inc., which was formerly known as Credit Information Bureau Inc., and the first credit bureau in the Philippines, as discussed earlier, the CRIF Philippines and the TransUnion Philippines, which partnered with the banks in the Philippines in 2001. A credit report is a detailed summary of consumers' borrowings and repayment activities. It contains personal and/or business information and details of loans, credit cards, mortgage, and other financial transactions. So an overview on how credit reporting works is as follows. Bank and other financial institutions submit their clients' credit information, both positive and negative, to the CIC. The CIC compiles the collected credit information into in-depth credit reports. The CIC shares credit reports of borrowers to lenders that are official accessing entities and to their accredited credit bureaus. And lenders use the information in credit reports to assess whether to lend the money to a borrower or not. The steps on how you can get your CIC credit report is as follows. First, go to the CIC website to set an appointment for a Know Your Customer process. Next, open the confirmation email from the CIC, download the attached application form, and then print the document. On your scheduled date and time, visit the CIC office to undergo the KYC process. Present at least 2 valid IDs for verification. Pay the 55 pesos fee to the cashier. Submit your OR and printed application form. Review and confirm the data encoded in the system. And then sign the acknowledgement receipt section in the application form. Within the day, you will receive a copy of your credit report from the CIC via the email address you have provided. However, processing of CIC credit report is temporarily unavailable due to the community quarantine until further notice. A credit score is a 3-digit numerical value ranging from 300 to 850 that indicates the consumer's ability to pay his debts. The higher the score, the more creditworthy the consumer is. It lets lenders see the consumer's past financial transactions and serves as a basis on how likely a consumer will be approved for a loan or credit card. For the CIB credit score, factors they consider are the following. Payment history. This is whether a consumer pays his debts on time. Outstanding debt. This is how much is owed on all accounts and how a consumer uses total available credit. Consumer history length. This is how long it's been since the consumer opened an account. New credit. These are recently opened accounts. Frequent applications of credit can have a negative impact on the credit score. Credit mix. This is a mix of different types of credit such as car loans, personal loans, and so on. The process for requesting for a credit report with a credit score before the community quarantine is as shown. Since it is still difficult to get an appointment and to visit the place of business of the credit bureaus, the CIBI Information Inc. has recently launched the CIBI app, where you can get your credit score online. How to register in the CIBI app? First, download the CIBI app from the Google Play Store. After downloading, choose Register here. This will appear on screen. Just choose Accept. And then input the required details in personal information, contact information, credential information, and upload your signature, one primary ID, and one secondary ID. Next, choose an available schedule for account verification. This will show once you have successfully chosen a schedule. You will also receive an email confirming your schedule with additional instructions. On your schedule, open the app again and choose the Meet Me. You will be redirected to Google Meet and a CIBI agent will call you for the account verification process. Once your account is verified, your profile in the app will show your personal details. Next, click on the upper left icon to see the menu, and then choose My Score. This will appear on your screen. Just follow the payment instructions for the 235 pesos fee. You can either pay by inputting your credit or debit card details, or you can deposit to their bank account. If the payment has been received by the CIBI, they will send an email containing your credit report. The credit score will also be seen in the transactions option. So you just click on your transaction number and your score will appear. This is how the CIBI credit report and score look like. This is my personal report. So on the first page, the subject data is shown, my credit score, identification, negative events, addresses, and relatives. My contact info and employment are reflected in the second page. On the succeeding pages, reflected are my summary of payment performances and the specific trades. In my case, what is shown are my credit card payment details. In case you have seen inaccurate credit information from your credit report, you may go to the CIC dispute page and just follow the steps in filing a dispute. So that ends my report. Thank you and God bless.